back into, do I have a motion to come back into our meeting?
I'll make a motion to come back into open meeting.
At, 7:44? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made by Ms. Barrera, second by Ms. Barrera Cantu, second by Mr. Felix Cantu, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Okay, action during the executive session. Consideration and possible action to appoint a city attorney and award a contract for legal service.
I make a motion to hire law office of Ryan Henry.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All against? Motion does not pass.
I'll make a motion to hire the Knight Law Firm for legal services.
I have a comment before,
All in favor?
you have to have a second. But I have a comment before we get a second. When it comes to legal contractual services, in my opinion, going with the cheaper route is not always the most beneficial. I believe, in my opinion, having good stewards, people very, very knowledgeable of what they're doing and who they are and what they bring to the table is something for me. With the development of Floresville and where we're going, we need all of the help that we can get expressed, and we'll go from there.
All in favor? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made by Ms. Flores, second by Ms. Cantu. All in favor? Three, four, all against? Motion passes. 3-4, 2 against. Thank you for your service.
You must be the one that's keeping it alive.
Sorry about that.
I think
welcome.
Thank you.
Action following executive session, action on any matter, from executive session. The second, discussion was discussion regarding the performance grievances, objectives, compensation, quarterly evaluation, and any pending grievances asserted against the city manager. As far as the grievances, under the charter, I have procedural authority, and I hereby will take no action regarding these grievances for lack of established procedures. Charter limitations, thank you.
I have
Hold on, speaking.
Yes, ma'am.
So, moving on with that, there is also something else that we wanted to do on that one, and that is, compensation. Do I have? How do we work that, Mr. Attorney?
Mr. Attorney.
You're requesting,
Because,
Increase in
when we were
compensation.
talking about that, we were talking about the grievances, and we were also talking about compensation, quarterly evaluations, and objectives and goals, but we're gonna do that later, but right now, we're gonna do the compensation and
there can be a motion to, by someone to state an increase in compensation for the city manager and what the amount, will be.
So, Mayor,
Or as
order here.
discussed.
hold on,
Mayor.
hold on.
Or as discussed in executive session, that can also be, instead of providing the amount in public. Yes, sir.
So, she's not letting me, ask about the grievance part, so where does this come in when I can speak about the grievances?
Go ahead. Or it's already, it was an executive session.
It was an executive session, but you gave us a big old story. Would you like to explain to the taxpayers and the people that wanna know of 5 or 6 different grievances out there? And what you pointed out was on the charter, you know, I'm not supposed to say what's out there, but what you explained, why don't you explain to the taxpayers of what you read us back there? There's nothing wrong with you explaining to every voter that's out there, about these grievances.
I'm following the charter.
No, you're following the charter, but go ahead and explain the way you explained to us back there. So the people out there can hear you.
If there were grievances discussed in executive session, they cannot be discussed outside, but what is it, sir, that you want?
My question was, she just says that she has the authority not to hear nothing. So we didn't discuss nothing about grievances back there, not a word. We were just not gonna hear them, period, and that is not right.
There was
Not
no
to hear.
agreements discussed.
Nothing was discussed
I
about it.
just read what the charter says.
Well, explain to the people out there, so they can hear us out in Floresville City, world. Why you don't wanna
No,
look
it's
at
not
not one
why,
grievance?
I just cannot talk about what we talked about. Y'all heard me, y'all know why.
No, we're not talking about.
I
what the-
read,
We're not talking, we're not
read
talking.
the charter.
No, we're not talking about, we're not talking about what was said about the grievances. We want,
That's enough.
no, that's
That's
not
enough.
enough.
That's
It's not enough, because my thing is, what are you gonna do with that? The people wanna know out there, Mayor,
Sir,
you know,
council members, so your question is for the mayor to discuss what,
no.
or to explain what,
No.
sir?
Why are we not listening to one grievance? They were all up to her and said, I don't have to. Nothing was discussed on not one grievance, of any grievance that was put out there, not one. We didn't talk about no grievance. I just want the people to know out there why none of these grievances are being heard. Not all 5 grievances are to throw away.
Okay, so what I would like to suggest is, now as your new city attorney, if you can give me the opportunity to look at the reference to the charter and bring it back, or for us to provide you information to all of the council on, whether the grievances were.
Very good answer.
I can read it and I won't get in trouble since it was in executive session.
We're not talking about grievances.
Yeah, we
You
can
weren't
get,
talking about grievances, you weren't even there.
it
I
would,
was there, right are you talking about?
Can I show you in?
We can, again, Mayor, if it's okay with the rest of the council, we can just provide an email to all the council members explaining whether this item can come back or whether it's okay the way that you mentioned it.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to, a motion for compensation.
I'd like to say a few words whenever we get a chance before the compensation comes up. Well, I don't know when is the right time, legal.
Sir, if there's a motion and a second, then comments can be made after that.
Go ahead, Ms.
Okay, well, I make a motion that we give the current city manager the same salary that the interim city manager, was getting. Effective immediately.
I'll second.
Now I can speak.
Go ahead.
Now, we got these grievances. My thing was, without an evaluation, and I know we're entitled like 90 days, but my thing was, we're gonna work on something to put together to evaluate, and we haven't even evaluated them yet, and we're already giving them a raise, which maybe he's done some work, I don't know. He was supposed to report to us weekly. I have one weekly report, but our council fellows here wanna give the money. And I don't understand this, where we can't wait till we evaluate them and then give them the money. We're putting the wagon in front of the horse. But, you know, they're gonna do what they wanna do. And I see it wrong. I'm not saying that he don't deserve the money. He might deserve the money. But after these grievances, there's been 4 or 5 that the mayor doesn't wanna look at or talk about because she's in control of it. That is fine too. In the charter, that's what it states, that the mayor is in control of these grievances. But I guarantee you, some of these grievances are worth watching or reading, you know? They're worth reading. So my thing is, we should table this item about the wages, bring it back when we evaluate it. But of course, we're gonna do, or they're gonna do as they please. But it is
We
totally
have a
wrong.
motion already and we have a
And
second.
that's fine, and I'm still talking, that's why here I'm for the voice of Floresville, whether you like it or you don't like it. And if they don't like it, they can vote me on, like I've always said. But my thing is, you think that you can come here trying to hit Lambert with a gavel, and you wanna use it with me, and that's all she has, having fun with a gavel, she thinks it's all funny. It's all funny. This is taxpayers' money that we're paying to these people, and, you know, I want people to get involved, you know, they say, oh, Mario's the crazy one. That's fine, I might be the crazy one, but I'm crazy for the city and taxpayers of Floresville. Let me tell you something. And for us to just be giving money away, you know, we're gonna raise rates, we're gonna raise this, we're gonna raise that, for what? So we can be giving money, and some of these employees do deserve to get a raise and give money. But instead, we're gonna give, I don't know, what, another 50,000, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But it'll be out there, where these 50,000 can be split among other employees that deserve a little increase. But my thing is, how we did it and how we did it and how we did it. It's not about how we did it. This is a different council. You just have, go ahead and use it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Hit it.
Keep on talking.
Thank you. You're not gonna let me talk. Just so you know, next time around. You ain't gonna let me speak. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mayor,
Thank you.
I've got something to say to add.
Mayor,
Yes?
may I have the floor?
Yes, go ahead.
Mayor, may I have the floor?
Of course, yes.
Okay, sorry, it cuts in and out. So a couple of things I just want to mention. I want to go back to, you know, I understand where Councilmember Morones is coming from. However, I do want to say is that no one batted an eye for our previous interim city manager when she was making exactly what the previous permanent city manager was making. And it wasn't due because of her education. She wasn't due because, she was certified as a certified city manager of any sort. She didn't have a bachelor's, master's, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I want to say that the new city manager, Mr. Munoz, has bent over backwards for the city of Floresville. He's trying to bring a lot of things to light, trying to get a lot of moving parts going. He's done more in 90 days than I've seen somebody else do in, almost the, what was it, 8-10 months that I was in office. So I just want to say that I understand some, previous council voted that amount, but it is what it is. Now, to say that he doesn't deserve it, he's not deserving, he's not qualified, he has gotten beat up every single council meeting. If it's not by our citizens, it's by our own council members. He's willing to be transparent. He's, trying to have an open door for everybody, but we keep shutting the door on his space and being ugly to him and basically smearing his name to the public in any chance that we get. So I don't know exactly what this person could do to prove that he's doing a good job. Is there anything else that he needs to do? Frankly, it's exhausting. And I'm tired for him to see all the bashing that goes on social media, on here. Enough is enough. He is a qualified manager. He was voted in, and Councilmember Morones voted for him to be our permanent city manager. I just want to make that point. Mayor, with that, I yield the floor.
I'll take the floor again. If you let me, Mayor, can I please?
Go ahead, Mark.
4 or 5 grievances here. They're not just plain grievances. These are grievances here. But my thing is, he was supposed to give us a report, what he was gonna do, and I haven't had a report yet. One, way when he got here. Now, he says he don't come to us and we have to go to him. I don't have no problem talking to him or whatever, but I know nothing that he's done yet to deserve any money. He can show me something in paper or an email, maybe I'll think about giving him a raise. But he has shut me, said nothing to me since he's been here. Yeah, and I did vote for him. I did vote for him, Francis. Yeah, you can roll your eyes too. I like when y'all roll your eyes and y'all laugh.
Mayor, can I?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, 2 things. Right in the middle of all these budget cuts, and now we're giving raises, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm just specifically wanting the public to know, what is this amount that we're paying you in dollars?
Yeah.
What is it? What is it? Someone can answer.
The finance director.
It would be an additional 25,000,
So will that put it to?
150.
Perfect, thank you.
And I really think he deserves more.
Yeah,
But we're
yeah.
just gonna give him what our city manager, and I am so sorry that you have to go through this, Mr. Munoz. Moving on, all in favor for, the 2 things that were set up here? We're voting
The
for
motion was on the
because it was
compensation.
under the city charter, I have procedural authority, and I hereby will take no action regarding these grievances for lack of established procedures, and also to give, the raise, because it's all in one, sentence.
Rodrigo, you had said you were gonna look at them.
Madam Mayor, we will be looking at the first part of it, so the motion was for compensation only.
For compensation, yes. Okay.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Thank you.
All in favor? All against? Motion passes 3-2. Moving on, we will go back to, our first item, which is, consideration and action to approve meeting minutes for the regular council meeting on May the 11th, 2026. Do I have a motion? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Felix is making a motion. Were you gonna make,
Approve meeting minutes. for
I
regular-
do,
I'm sorry, go ahead. Do you want,
You have the floor.
did you wanna make the motion, or did you hear him?
no. I did hear him halfway through his motion, but I wanted to say there are some corrections that need to be done, so I wanted to call out the corrections.
Okay, are they the same as Cantu? Is that what you're gonna correct?
There's a few of them. Under item 1, election, under U, it says Mayor Morales Cantu, and it marks an M, the letter M, under abstain.
Okay, hold on.
I think that's an error. I think that needs to be removed.
Okay. Also, thank you for,
And also, I'm sorry, Mayor, I have others too.
Go ahead.
On letter C, it says administer the oath of office for elected official. It does have all 3 of you, including Councilmember Morones, but he didn't attend this special meeting. So I don't know if they need to make a note of that, because before and after of it, it says he wasn't in attendance. So I just I'm not sure what the correction is on there.
and thank you for bringing that up, because I also have it, because they have him under Whitman. Judge Whitman, did his, oath, and that is not correct.
Mayor, if I may, I have he's absent, and that I just put it underneath because it's all listed together, so I can add there, but he's showing he's absent on the top. So it's up to
Okay,
y'all how y'all want it.
can you correct that and put him in a different paragraph, please? So he won't be under Judge Whitman? Because it says Judge Whitman, administered the oath of office. I'm sorry, go ahead, Francis, go ahead.
And then on item number 2, new business, on that motion, it has that Councilmember Barrera Cantu abstained. She did not abstain, I abstained. And then it says Councilmember Flores voted yes, and this was on the Mayor Pro Tem, so I just need that to be corrected. I abstained, and Councilmember Barrera Cantu voted yes.
That's correct, I have that also. Thank you, Francis, for, bringing that up. With that said, do you wanna make the motion with the corrections?
What day was that?
Yes,
Huh?
That was May the 11th.
that was the day of the special meeting.
Mayor, if
Because it says
Mr.
regular
Cantu.
meeting on the 11th,
Hmm?
but on the front of the agenda,
Oh, it says regular meeting.
Okay,
That's
with
also
the change,
listed.
it's on the agenda.
so I'm trying to stand on which one, on this one, on the 8th,
Yes.
because I wasn't here, but
Yes.
it says regular meeting, that's what.
Yeah,
Okay.
you would have.
All right.
So, do you wanna make a motion with the corrections?
Mayor, Councilmember Cantu made the motion, so he could say, he can amend his motion with the correct, you approve the meeting minutes with the corrections.
So you have to repeat it again?
And you can just say, you wanna amend your motion, and you would like to approve the special meeting minutes with the corrections mentioned.
Yes, I want to approve the special meeting minutes with the corrections that we made.
Do I have a second? Motion made by Mr. Felix Cantu, second by Ms. Flores, all in favor?
Abstain.
3, 4, 1, abstained, and, Lambert's not here. Aye. Okay, moving on to item B, consideration and action to approve meeting minutes for the regular council meeting on May the 14th.
Mayor, I do have some questions on this one as well, or some amendments, I should say.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, on item G, it says Councilmember Flores made a motion to table item until June 11th council meeting. Councilmember Cantu seconded the motion, but the person that actually seconded was Councilmember Barrera Cantu.
That's which one?
Item G,
Okay.
but it says Member Cantu on top.
You got that, Ms. Evelyn?
Yes, ma'am.
And then the other one I have is, it's item 7B. When we came back from executive session, it says Councilmember Cantu, but it's blank on his. He actually voted yes.
Hold on, which one is
Made
that?
a- It's a motion to come back from executive. Item B from executive session, so it's item 7, executive session, and then if you go to B. So at the very bottom, Councilmember Cantu, it's blank, and he should have an X by his name. He voted to come back from executive session.
Did you get that?
Yes,
Ms.? Okay. Yeah, it was B. Because you only have two, you have only two people, Barrera and Flores. All right. So do I have a motion with corrections?
Yes, Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes for May 14th, 2026, with the amendments discussed.
Motion made by Ms. Flores, second by Ms. Barrera Cantu. All in favor? Motion passes 3-0. Felix and, Lambert are not here. Moving on to presentation and discussion, quarterly investment report.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jamie Hobbs, and I'm with Value Consulting. We're the investment advisor for the city, and I'll be going through the March 31st quarterly report. As of March 31st, the portfolio was $26,321,000. That was an increase of $8.4 million. Oh, okay, sorry. Can you hear me okay now? Sorry about that. Let me start over for you. As of March 31st, the portfolio was $26,321,000. That was an increase of $8.4 million over the previous quarter, mostly due to the $10 million in bonds that were received during the quarter. The quarterly yield was 3.54%. The prior quarter was 3.75%. The reason for that is there was a 25 basis point decrease made in interest rates made by the Federal Open Markets Committee in December. And so it took through this March quarter for those to filter through the investments. Interest earnings for the quarter were just at $230,000. And for the fiscal year to date, they were right at $400,000. For just some items on economic overviews, as of May 15th, there's a new chairman for the Federal Open Market Committee, Kevin Marsh. He has been a governor in the past, but this is a new role for him as chairman. What we're expecting from him is a little less communicative. Chair Powell was very communicative. He had a press conference after every meeting. From the commentary and from the confirmation hearings, Chair Marsh has said that he's going to kind of revert back to the Alan Greenspan form of communication. So what we're expecting is less meetings or less press conferences after the meetings. We'll see if they'll continue with the summary of projections for the years. And then we also expect less advance notice for the markets so that it's really just responsive after they have made their announcements after each meeting. The first meeting where he'll actually preside is June 16th and 17th, so that's upcoming. At this moment, the market's not anticipating any changes to the interest rates. The first market anticipation is sometime late December, or late 2027, last quarter of 2026, first quarter of 2027. Also, the war in Iran is still going on. That is affecting inflationary numbers. We're seeing increases in oil and gas prices that are affecting households. And what that's doing, that will influence how the FOMC acts. Their two mandates are labor, labor numbers coming out next week, and then inflation. And we've seen the inflationary numbers that they watch rise at the last reading of those numbers. So we'll monitor how they plan to move forward with rates. What it has meant for the city specifically is there has been increases in CD rates that are available up there, so we'll continue to monitor that when there's funds available to invest. And looking at the next page is the investment holdings for the city. As of March 31st, it's a snapshot of that day. Everything above the blank line are the cash and cash equivalents that are held. Everything below the blank line are CDs that have been laddered out over the next 18 to 19 months. And moving to the next page, this is a graphical example of how the portfolio stands right now. It's about 25% CDs and about 75% cash and equivalents. You can see in the bottom left the increase for this quarter from the bond funds that were received. And then you can see the distribution by maturity and the portfolio performance over the course of the last three years. The next report is your book and market value comparison. This is required by the Public Funds Investment Act. It shows the increases and decreases in the investments quarter over quarter. So what you'll see is the increase into the all spread and money market funds, for the bond funds. You'll see that there were 2 CDs that matured and 2 CDs that were placed new for the quarter. Again, for the total of about $8.4 million increase to the portfolio in total. The next report is the fund allocation. This just breaks down the investments between the different buckets of money. So you'll see for the general consolidated funds, and then you'll see the 2023 and 2026 bond funds hold the largest portion of the funds of the portfolio. The last report that's included is an investment holdings for the EDC, and you'll see that value for those funds are about $3.3 million. Are there any questions for me?
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much.
Moving on to 8th Annual Car Show, the Lions Club, Floresville Lions Club.
Shortage is. It is. Okay. Y'all can hear me now? Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Sylvia Madero. I'm a resident of Floresville at 1205 S Street. I am here on behalf of the Floresville Lions Club. For your information, the Floresville Lions Club has been in existence for 82 years. a few months ago, on behalf of the Floresville Lions Club, we requested permission of closure of the street in front of the courthouse, 3rd and on the side C Street, for our 8th annual car show on Saturday, June 13th. However, due to circumstances, we had our December pancake breakfast, and immediately thereafter, on Palm Sunday, we had our barbecue, which left little time for us to prepare for our car show. So consequently, it was necessary for us to postpone the car show to Saturday, September the 12th, to allow us sufficient time to make all the necessary events and sponsors to take place, subject, of course, to the approval of the council. I would reiterate to the council that all monies raised from all various fundraisers goes back into the community in the form of donations for disaster relief, scholarships, various Lions projects. We do a lot with the nursing homes. We pay for glasses for people and children who cannot afford them. We pay for the examination and the glasses. So wherever there is a need, there is a lion. And that is our motto. We serve. And I would ask your permission again to close the closure of the streets.
Thank you. That'll be placed on, it's not on this agenda, this is just a presentation.
Yeah, Mayor, Council, she wanted to give y'all the presentation. I believe there's something else, the barricades, right?
Oh, we do, yes, we would need the barricades for, to help us keep the traffic out of that
I
side
just
of the
wanted to make
street.
sure we had everything.
So you have it on the agenda for?
I can go ahead and put it back on there.
Put it back on the
It
agenda
would just be the street from 3rd and 4th, the other side of the parking lot, right?
It would be, just in front of the courthouse.
Right.
And on the side of the
Oh,
courthouse.
fancy. And then just barricades is what's already,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you for your attention.
We'll put it
and
on the
consideration.
agenda for the next,
Thank you. Do y'all have any questions?
I don't, does the council?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Item C, manufactured home ordinance, development department.
Good evening, council. I will use my laptop, but I'll probably drop it, so I have papers. We're gonna go over the discussion for summary of proposed changes to the regulation of manufacturing and mobile homes. We did bring this back to you guys back in December. Planning and zoning did recommend to approve it. When we came to council, it was tabled for more discussion so we can have a map and have a possible workshop. And here we are bringing it back, just to discuss it some more. In the recent legislative session, the Texas legislator adopted Senate Bill 785, which changes how cities can regulate mobile and manufactured homes. The new legislation does not go into effect until September 1st of this year. However, these proposed changes that were already in the works prior to this recent legislation will address all of the new requirements. Our city's current zoning ordinance only allows mobile or manufactured homes through a special use approval by city council. This includes both homes within a manufactured home park as well as standalone manufactured homes. In general, the ordinance requires manufactured homes to be located within a manufactured home park. However, an exception for a standalone manufactured home is possible if the property owner obtains written permission from all property owners within 250 feet in addition to special use approval by the city council. These proposed ordinance that we're talking about right now creates 2 new zoning districts for manufactured homes, one for manufactured home parks and the other for a single family residential district that is also allows standalone manufactured homes. These zoning districts will replace the current special use approval requirement. And we have an ordinance already written to comply for that September 1st change. We we can still have a workshop if needed to show a map, but a lot of cities are changing the ordinances and then following up with the map, before September, so that we can have this in place and give, other people, the citizens, just knowledge, knowing that this is to come. It's not gonna get changed if we bring it back next council meeting and we approve it, doesn't mean it's gonna go into effect. This is all just getting ready for September 1st.
Mayor, if I may, we wanted to bring this to your attention because previously, prior to my arrival, there was a request that you hold a workshop. So upcoming in the next couple of weeks, up until the end of August, we're gonna be holding a lot of workshops regarding the budget and a lot of other things that are coming up. So I didn't know if you guys wanted to do a specialized workshop just to deal with this ordinance, or do we give you a couple of meetings to review this, get familiar with it, and then come back as an action item, but also do a public hearing prior to you guys taking action? Because I know this is gonna have a significant impact to our community. So we just wanted to get a little feedback from you.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
And what would be I know we had an ordinance about how old the mobile home should be. Do we still have that in place, or how would that work?
Yes, sir, right now it is 5 years, or newer, and if you're buying from a dealership coming to the city, it's 5 years or newer. If you're going from First Street to Second Street, it's 8 years. With these changes, it's gonna go to 3 years, just all around.
Thank you.
And what this does is, the reason the legislation is doing this is applying only to new HUD code manufactured homes, and it's intended to increase housing affordability and to expand housing options throughout our area. And also, a lot of these places, even for like a single family built home, they don't have to go through these type of hoops to have a home for them. Like, that's why we're trying to get rid of
I
the
would like-
signatures.
Thank you. I would like to have a public hearing and let our citizens, put in their input, if, that's possible. I mean, if everybody agrees to it, I would, participate, or maybe just have a workshop, and that would be easier. It's up to the council.
And just so that you know, September 1st is our deadline, it's gonna happen.
So we would have to do it, by September the 1st, everything has to be turned in.
By September 1st, the rule's gonna change where we cannot no longer accept signatures or granting of a special use permit to allow a manufactured home to be placed at a certain area. What's gonna have to come around is, there's gonna be zoning, districts throughout the city that will allow a manufactured home to be placed without having to go through all that process. They will just have to get permits through us, just like someone would do it with building a brand new home themselves.
But it would be just certain sections of the city.
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Do I have any questions or comments from anyone? Citizens' comments? No? Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to, coin operating machines ordinance.
Good evening. So we're bringing this item for presentation and discussion regarding a proposed ordinance updating chapter 117 of the city code relating to game rooms and amusement redemption machines. The ordinance will prohibit game rooms and certain amusement redemption machines within the city limits, establish updated definition and enforcement provisions, and repeal conflict in code provisions. The ordinance also references applicable court decisions and includes findings related to the protection of public health, safety, and welfare. That is what we're presenting to you. The ordinance contains exemptions for certain traditional amusement or skill-based machines, such as claw machines and physically skilled operated games, while prohibiting game rooms and machines that fall within the ordinance's definitions of amusement redemption machines or gambling devices.
Mayor, if I may add to what Jacob is explaining, Right now, we're kind of caught between some coin operating machines that are currently trying to operate in the city. And so one entity says you can be permitted to have these types of machines, but then the state comes in and says, well, I mean, it's the state that says you can, but our current ordinance says that you cannot. And so there's conflict between. So Jacob worked with our previous city attorney to draft this ordinance. A lot of this is moving forward, and my recommendation to the attorney was moving forward that with coin operated machines, with the exception, because technology is constantly changing, and so they're constantly redefining what would fall under this ordinance. So my recommendation to the attorney was on the ordinance that we prohibit these type of operations moving forward, and we just don't allow them within the city limits. That being, we just don't have the staff time to constantly police this. This is a hot topic in the courts and with it all throughout municipalities throughout the state. I don't think we have the ability to join that fight for or against. At this point, you know, I kind of agree with what the city of Fort Worth is doing, to where we just prohibit the activity completely and, you know, let the courts in the other cities that have deeper pockets kind of battle this out in the courts. And then once there's legislation that's passed, then we can revisit in the future with a different ordinance or amend the current ordinance to allow those operations. But right now, technology is changing so much. When you play these games or these machines, it becomes very difficult, and it becomes very difficult for staff to police. And we just don't have the resources to do that. And so that's also wrapped up into the ordinance that's proposed to you.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. Moving on to cemetery ordinance.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. We propose to use some amendments to the city cemetery ordinance. We've had considerable amounts of questions of what our citizens can and cannot do. We do have policies that are posted on our websites that are not included in ordinance. And so I worked with the previous city attorney to draft a copy of this before you for your comments. One thing that we have done is in the old cemetery, we're not allowing additional burials, only because we can't really truly identify where they fall within the certain plots. And so we've kind of just started moving everybody to the newer portion of the cemetery. We've also got questions regarding, you know, double burials within a plot. You know, if you have a casket that's encased, can you put an urn, and does that qualify as the same as a concrete box for a casket? And does that include, you know, does that qualify as a double burial on a single plot? And so what we did with the ordinance is we kind of addressed all of those questions, but we wanted to get your feedback as to the direction you wanted us to go. One of the additional changes, I believe there was an increase because of the maintenance of the city cemetery has increased, so the fees would increase slightly. But we also wanted to look at that because there's portions of the new cemetery that does not have water lines for to water the grass out there, and we get a lot of complaints from citizens that have to drag water hoses over 100 feet to water the cemetery. And so in order to do that, we have to have the revenues to do that. And so that's what we're addressing with the ordinance for you. Any questions? Thank you.
Does the council have any questions? Thank you. Moving on to new business, consideration of possible action to approve possible emergency purchases for inspection, repair, and rehabilitation to B Street water well.
Mayor, we do have a representative from TRC in Green.
Oh, okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Scott Horowitz with TRC Engineers. B Street water well is currently operating about producing water at about 350 gallons per minute when the well is rated and capable of producing between 1,250 and 1,450 gallons per minute. And Public Works Department would like to get there and investigate the reasons for this. And so that's what we'll be doing next week, is getting in there, getting down into the well and figure out what's happening. And the data that they collect, the information they collect will be provided to us, and we will work on coming up with some solutions to get the pump back to where it's capable of producing, higher volumes.
Okay, that's the one by the, behind over here on the side, by, the school.
The correct is.
Okay, that would be B or B. Okay. Do I have any comments from the citizens or from council? Do I have a motion to approve?
Yes, Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve possible emergency purchase for inspection, repair, with rehabilitation of the Beach Street water well.
Do I have a second? Motion made by Mr. Lambert, second by Ms. Barrera Cantu. All in favor? Motion passes 4-4, 0 against. Ms. Evelyn, thank you. Did, Francis?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes, she left.
Discussion and possible action to approve City of Floresville time.
I'm sorry. Can we move item G up to this?
Sure, sure.
Okay.
Consideration and possible action to approve ordinance 2026-020. Consideration and possible action to approve an ordinance amending water and wastewater utility rates, providing update rate schedules to residential, commercials, and other utility customers, providing for severability, providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinances, and establishing an effective date.
And I do have a representation from Communities Unlimited. This is Kate.
Katie?
Good evening. I'm Kaylee Poston, I'm with Communities Unlimited. I'm gonna be going over the water rate study first.
There's a clicker up there. If you hit the down arrow there.
Okay, so in this rate study, all the information and the data that was provided by the city of Floresville will include the 2025 water utility budget, historical rates and usage revenue reports, and amortization schedules for existing and anticipated debt obligations. In this summary, there was an analysis that identifies projected financial trends, revenue needs, and rate structures designed to maintain system sustainability. During this study, I'm gonna go over the expenses and the revenues, the rate schedule adjustments, and the financial standings. Going into 2026, you're standing at a 0.81 operating ratio, which would need a 28.1% increase to get you a 1.0 operating ratio. The purpose of having the 1.0 operating ratio will be because if you're going after any kind of grant funding or state agency funding, they want to see that the system can financially pay for itself. And at this point, the water system cannot financially sustain just the the expenses for the water side. This water system, the water system is projected to enter, which I already said that, sorry. The shortfalls reflects increasing operational costs and inflation pressures and existing system obligations that are not fully supported by the current rates. In this study, we're gonna go over 3 different options, and each option will have 3 different types of adjustments that you can choose from, and I'll go over each one of those once we get to that section. So this sheet, it's gonna show all the expenses that are for just the water system. And this is also information that was provided from the system that's under the 2025 water utility budget, along with the other financials. Based on this budget, you're bringing in roughly 2.4 million right now with the water. And like I said, coming in, you're at a 0.81 operating ratio. The first option that we're gonna go over, well, first I'm gonna show you the current rates. So the current rates that you're at right now with the water side is gonna be the base allowance of 3,000 gallons, and then your base fee is 29.9 for each of the base fee for your meters, sorry. And this is gonna be for your residential inside, the outside is 4930. You're allowing 3,000 gallons, so you're giving away your first 3,000. And same for the inside commercial and outside commercial. So the first option that we have is gonna be option A. And so any of these options on here is gonna increase 675,000 on top of the income that you're already bringing in. So right now, if you were to do option A, the first, which is a base only, it's gonna take it to 3847, and you're still allowing the 3,000. If you do the usage only, then it's gonna stay at the 2990, and then you will still have the 3,000, and then you're just increasing the tier structures, which we did implement the tier structures. So at the beginning, it was 0 to 3,000 you're giving away, and then 3,001 to 12,000 gallons, you're charging $4.10 per 1,000 gallon. Anything over 12,000 gallons, you're charging $4.10. So basically, you're giving away a lot of your water. On the base and the usage, that would take it to $34.30. And then the tier usage breakdown would just go from 1,000 to 4,000, 4,000 to 8,000, 8,000 to 11, and anything above 11,000. And then our next, which is very tiny and you can't really see that, but this would be taking back all but 1,000 gallons that you're giving away right now. So just taking back the 2,000 gallons and charging for anything over 1,000 gallons, you're gonna bring in an additional $982,000. And with implementing both, one of the three options on option A and doing option B would bring in and bring your total revenue to $3,387,759. And that would bring your operating ratio to 1.14, where you're at a 0.81 right now. And so the updated rate structure is designed to encourage efficient water use and support ongoing conservation initiatives. And also, it's been 10 years since your last rate increase, which a lot of systems think, oh, that's great that we haven't gone up in 10 years, we're managing. But it's actually one of the worst things that you can do for your system, because inflation goes up every year. The cost of all your material, all your chemicals, everything that you need to make sure that the citizens have potable water and it's safe for them to drink. And as of now, it's basically you're just giving away all of your water and not bringing any revenue to cover your expenses.
Mayor, if I may add, Cindy, correct me if I'm wrong, but to give you an overall assessment of what she's saying is you have a fund, and you're required under your policy to maintain a reserve fund. There's a percentage under policy that equates to about 90 days. And so for the past 10 years, the money that you've collected in that fund is starting to dwindle down. It's coming down. And you're getting to where you're eating in reserves. And when you get to that point, if there's a major catastrophe or whatever, you're gonna eat that money quickly, okay? But as that money's been coming down and your rates have been staying the same for 10 years, the cost of repairs, improvements, upgrades, the cost of materials and labor has been increasing. So you have a significant gap that we've not been keeping up with, okay? And because we've not been doing that, you're not able to take on capital improvement projects and do a lot of infrastructure improvements because you're eating away at it. And the more we eat away at it without adjusting the rates, we have to take money out of the general fund to compensate for that, which then limits what you can do in capital improvements for other citywide projects, because your general fund is having to now cover those expenses. When we look at this, our base rate is at 10,000 gallons. That's an enormous amount of water. Under TCEQ requirements and the Texas Water Development Board legislation, we now have to start looking at conservation efforts. If you look at the city of Corpus, all the way coming up to Three Rivers and those areas, water is becoming an issue. At 10,000 gallons, that's a significant amount of water. what my proposal is that we reduce that down to 1,000. If you want to use 10,000, you're more than welcome to use 10,000, but you're going to pay the premium rate for that. So the more you use, the more you're gonna pay. Because we're essentially giving citizens 9,000 free gallons to be able to do that. And because we've maintained the rates, that balance is starting to come down, costs are starting to go up, and you've limited yourselves with the ability to make the necessary infrastructure improvements that you need to make to give the quality of life that the citizens put us here for. So my recommendation is to, what she explained to you, I recommend approval.
And also increasing on option A, if you did just the base rate, I have the example up here, the average person that uses 4,500 gallons, their bill's only gonna go to 51. So it is a small increase, but it's not anything that's not manageable.
So what would be the increase on somebody that pays $130?
That, I could not tell you off the top of my head.
It'd be more than $56.
Yeah, it depends on the gallon.
It just depends on the amount of
But
gallons
the
that
average
they're
of
using.
people paying around here, it's at least at $99.
So the purpose of it to increase and do the tier usage the way it's structured now is because it's gonna get people to use less water. So when your the tier usage is split up the way it is, where it's not the 3,000 to 12,000 or anything over 12,000 and they pay the same. Where it's split to, let me use the sheet. And now it would be 1,000, anything under or over 1,000 to 4,000, you have one fee that you're gonna be paying. Then 4,000 to 8,000, you have a different tier usage. And so the ones that are paying a higher bill now, they're paying the same exact per 1,000 gallons that the next person that's only using 2,000 gallons compared to 12,000 gallons. So when it's broke up into these tiers and it's different tier usage rates, then it's gonna keep your higher users, either they're gonna pay the bill or they're gonna stop using as much water. So it's to implement to bring in more revenue for the system, but also to conserve the water.
And I think the 130 though, that is water, sewer, and refuse all together.
What I'm saying is you're still gonna pay $7, $8 more. I would say easy. And we gotta look at the ones that are on the fixed income. Old grandma, grandpa, they get $300 a month. You know, $10 is $10 for that. I understand that everything goes up. It's not our fault because we weren't here for the past 10 years. But, you know, I believe that with the way the economy is right now, gas, groceries, $7, $8 for somebody that's on fixed income, that's some money, but we'll see how it turns out.
No, you bring up a good point, Mario, you know, obviously, but we also, as a city, have to understand that, you know, what, like the way the city manager is explaining, you know, what if something happens, right? You know, what if we get into, you know, a catastrophe? We've had it here before, you know, we had a huge tornado that struck right in the middle of the heart of our city, so, you know, I think, you know, plan management, you know, also speaking from a firefighter standpoint, we don't have water, we don't put out fire. So, you know, I would rather, you know, someone, you know, have to have a little bit of an increase rather than watch their home burn down. So, yeah, so.
How many customers do we have?
I wanna say like 3,200.
I think it's around roughly 32.
So that's gonna bring in about, what'd you say, we go with the largest one, $3 million?
The option that we recommend is gonna be option C, which is,
Would be a slight increase in the base and then the tiers.
it'll implement the tier usage, and then there's a slight increase in your base fee, and then taking back all the water and only giving a 1,000 gallon limit. So anything over 1,000 gallons, you're gonna be charging for instead of the 3,000 where it was at. And so that would bring an additional $982,760 revenue just for the water system.
We can give more raises.
Absolutely.
That Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve, option C.
Option C, consideration and possible action to approve ordinance 2026-020. Do I have a second? Motion made by Mr. Lambert, do I have a second? I'll second. Seconded by Ms. Barrera Cantu. All in favor? Motion, all against? Motion passes 3-4-0, 1 against.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'm gonna take a 5-minute break, so.
You want to go waste time?
Francis is not here?
They call.
Right, but we only discussed the water. We didn't discuss the wastewater.
Sorry, okay, yes. Sorry.
Take a break. Take a 5-minute break.